Open wide for some soccer!
Hello guys, it's 899 here and welcome to today's video where today we're going to go through our tips and predictions for round 3 of the A-League season. Last round we got 2 correct. We're doing better, we are improving. We got Auckland beating the Western Sydney Wanderers correct. And we also went with Wellington beating Brisbane. The rest were all incorrect, however, so hopefully we're trying to improve and actually have some validity to my predictions. But without further ado, let's get straight into it. Starting out on Friday at 7:35 PM, we have the Brisbane Roar taking on Melbourne City. Brisbane are coming off a last-minute loss to Wellington, whilst Melbourne City are coming off a dismantling of Perth, winning 4-0. This will be an interesting match to see what Brisbane can do here as they go against the defending champions. I do think that this could be a match where Brisbane kind of need to play a bit of haram ball, essentially just sit back and try to get something on the counter-attack, whilst we're going to see Melbourne City just completely and utterly dominate the shooting, XG stats and whatnot. However, despite what I think their tactics are going to be, I do think Melbourne City are just going to be too strong and I think they will get the win. And now we go to the other side of the country for the second game on the Friday as we have Perth Glory taking on Melbourne Victory in 2 teams that have kind of been struggling at the moment. Perth are coming off the already mentioned 4-0 loss to Melbourne City, whilst Melbourne Victory are coming off a 5-2 loss to the Newcastle Jets. A lot of pressure around both teams to try to get a result, and I feel like any points are going to be important, but obviously you want to get your first win of the season, which is the case for both teams. And with this, I think it'll be interesting to see what does play out in this matchup, but I'm going to say that I think Victory edge it out and finally get some sort of momentum and keep the pressure off their coach. Now we move on to Saturday, and to kick off the day, we have Auckland FC taking on Adelaide United. Auckland FC got their first win of the season last week when they got a 1-0 win over Western Sydney Wanderers, when in complete honesty it probably should have been a lot more, whilst Adelaide struggled against Macarthur, suffering a 2-1 loss. This I think will be a very big test for Adelaide in terms of seeing where they're going to be in terms of early form, because they're taking on a team who are very good, especially at home, and they're just having last week being a bit of a lull, and obviously losing to Macarthur, so this will be very kind of important for them to get a result here. Like a draw, I think for Adelaide here would be pretty good signs. However, I'm going to say that I think Auckland get the win and go 2 on the trot as they continue their Coliseum of being Mount Smart Stadium. Now move on to the next game on Saturday, and this is definitely an interesting one. It's the Newcastle Jets taking on Sydney FC. The Jets are coming off a 5-2 win over Melbourne Victory with a hat-trick from Alex Badalado, who ended up getting a card on FIFA for a Team of the Week. It's mental to see. While Sydney FC also got their first win of the season last week with a 2-0 win over the Central Coast Mariners. All the storylines are going to be centering around the former Sydney FC players in the Newcastle Jet team looking for some bit of revenge. Max Burgess being one, and I feel like this is going to be either Max Burgess gets a hat-trick or a red card, no in between. Like the Jets obviously have their F3 derby rivalry with the Mariners, but I feel like depending on how they go against Sydney is kind of a bit of a key indicator of how they will go throughout the season. So I think in an important game, I'm going to back the boys. I think the Jets are going to win this, but it should be the match of the round. And now finishing off Saturday night, we have the so-called Battle of the West between Macarthur and Western Sydney Wanderers. Macarthur getting their first win of the season in a 2-1 win over Adelaide United, whilst the Wanderers still yet to get their first win of the season, coming off a 1-0 loss to Auckland. Historically, there's been a lot of goals in these games, and this could be a very decent outing for both matches. I think for a neutral, this could be pretty darn good. Wanderers just slight favourites, but it's really hard to split it down the middle. It's very close in terms of the markets here, but I'm actually going to say I think this will be a draw. I mean, you got to throw a draw in there somewhere just to seem like, oh, you kind of knows. But yeah, I think this will be like a 1-1 or a 2-2 draw. And finally, on Sunday, to close out the round, we have the Central Coast Mariners taking on the Wellington Phoenix. Mariners coming off a 2-0 loss to Sydney FC, whilst Wellington had a last-minute winner over Brisbane to win 2-1. This match will be quite interesting. I feel this might be a battle of the defences, because I think this might turn out to be a bit of a grudge match bit of frustration just trying to get a proper shot on goal with both teams having, you know, sort of all right defenses when they are on song. And I feel like this will be a bit of a battle of attrition. I feel like there might only be like one goal in this, to be completely honest. But I'm going to say and predict that I think that Wellington will get the job done. And those are the predictions. Who do you guys have? Let me know in the comments below. Thank you all very much for watching, and I'll see you all later.